I think I must have been the only person happy that iRacing didn't have rain because I'm just not a huge fan of rain in my sim racing. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, look at this. This is I mean, I was going to say this is cool, but you can't see anything. So much so that I almost literally drove off of the track because you couldn't see anything. And it just, obviously makes everything a lot more difficult. And I think a lot of people, you could see two GTPs. Let's talk about that right away. The rain is impossible to drive in for a GTP. So just putting that out there, you're going to see them either never race when you sign up for races, or in this video you'll see why they never sign up for the few that do show up, because they will just fly off track. The GTP rain tire is pretty much non-existent, and so they are awful in the rain, as we passed by two more GTPs. But I didn't know that about the rain performance anyways. But so now let's jump back. So you got me in a tizzy, and we're not even a minute in to this video. So rain. Everybody was, really looking forward to rain. Huge teasers, huge hype about the rain in iRacing. It really delivered. I think it is excellent rain. I think this is by far the best rain in sim racing, and I think it's way too good. By that I mean you can see the puddling that it is created on the online areas, and I don't know if you can see from the video or if it's just going to be if you're seeing in my mistakes, but those puddles have a significant impact on your car, much like you would experience if you were ever driving down the highway and maybe there's a little puddle on the highway and you hit it going real fast, like not even just fast for highway speeds. Maybe you're going 60, which is not fast for a race car, and you feel that one side of your car slow down, the other side of your car go forward, not necessarily spinning you around, but you just can feel the sensation of being slowed on one side of your car, and in the effect that had. So I would just imagine amplifying that. I think they've done that excellently. I think that this is. I don't think it needs to be nerfed or anything, so to say. I think this is just really what rain is like. However, the frequency, man, it seems like every session now that can have rain is just soaked. And I just really hate that. It doesn't lead to the diversity of racing that I think that it was meant to. However, there are some great moments when you can go from a semi-wet track to a dry track over the race. I think that those strategy moments really lend a lot to the racing. And I'm not talking about, though, so much, not even as much rain as we see right now. I'm talking about literally just it just stopped, like F1 style, it just stopped raining right now. Let's go race, and you have the option then to run that wet tire for a long period of time or a short period of time, however it is effective. And then you can have that strategy change where you have to switch over to the new tire compound and worry about your fuel. And so that kind of racing I think would be a lot of fun. However, I think that the iRacing rain is just so ham-handed that it's boring to me, and also it creates so many off tracks. I think the iRating system needs to be a little bit less strict, a little bit less scrutiny on the off tracks when in the rain, because I just collect them so frequently, and it killed my iRating to the point where I am at this point in time no longer an A licensed driver. So I really am not a big fan of the rain. I'm going to avoid rain now more than anything. Normally my preference, so to say, for a race is just making sure that I can fit the time slot right. If I want to run a specific series, I just make sure the time slot works. And some people make sure, I don't race this car, or I don't race this track with this car, yada yada yada. For me, it's just nope. If it times out, I'll do it. But I think at this point, I'm gonna have to really significantly limit the amount of rain racing that I do going forward, just because of how not fun I have doing it. I think it would be one thing if there was an element to it that pulled me back, that made me feel like, I need to win in this, or I need to best this, or I need to be better at this. For instance, Southern National, very small, tight ovals where people are just constantly crashing and driving standards for some reason just diminish into nothing. That is an experience where like, no, I need to tame this beast. I'm not going to let this track beat me down. But when it comes to this rain, it's not a fun experience for me. It's not something that I want to keep doing. And because of that, I am going to look, that's going to be my biggest preference. Is it going to be raining for this session? I'll skip it. I'll see what the open race is doing, or vice versa. I'll see what these fixed race is doing. I'll see what the other series is going to do, and whether or not there'll be rain in that one. So yeah, going forward, I'm going to, for the third time now, or fourth time, I've just got to cut the rain out. It's just too much. But one thing I did realize, and again, this was because of the rain performance, I didn't quite realize that, was when jumping into IMSA for when I got my A license, I felt like I couldn't, I felt like there was some sort of maybe some gatekeeping, like I felt like I needed to more earn not my license, but earn my way, I guess, into IMSA, and so I didn't feel like I could jump right into GTP, and so I stuck into LMP2. But now realizing it, especially after this race, there were some moments, this race in particular, where I was like, oh, any idiot can get behind the wheel of a GTP, and I could be that idiot. And right now I just wanted to talk about the gameplay real quick. What you're seeing me doing is trying to fuel save. I have about 1 lap of fuel that is unaccounted for between the end of the race and what I have in the tank. So I'm trying to drive in a way to make up 1 lap of fuel. And you can see how much time we've got here and where we're at on fuel. And I'm just not going to be able to make it last any longer. So we're going to dive into the pit lane here. But we will get the white flag. So we were 1 lap away. If I was smarter and noticed that earlier, we would have had an amazing finish because of that strategy. But anyway, I've decided to take part in GTP going forward. Going forward, I still have the IMSA Endurance that I'm eligible for. That race will be this weekend. I'm going to take part in that with the GTP, looking forward to it. And then going forward, whenever I get back in my A license, I will be moving forward with the GTP. I felt like I paid my dues with the GT3 when it came to the VRS series, Endurance and Sprint. Because of my license and what I wanted to do, and then coming up into A license, I feel like I don't need to. There's no one to pay my dues to, so to say. If there was a dues to be paid to or for something, yeah, I get it. But like just to myself, doesn't quite make sense. Especially if you're just keeping yourself from something you want. And it is a hobby, right? So yeah, we're going to jump back in with the GTP. Our car is the Cadillac. Already have had some time behind the wheel with it. In the rain, unfortunately, is the only time I've been able to drive it in a race setting. But anyway, here we are chasing down 5th place here. We're sitting at 6th place, and this is the final lap, and there's going to be a little bit of opportunity here. I'm going to take it as we head into the chicane. A little bit of contact, but I definitely didn't push him wide. We're going to have to get out of the way. It looked like a Ferrari. But yeah, that was locked up a pass on the last lap. Some nice strategy this race. Definitely some difficulty dealing with this rain. So this race, did have a lot of everything. It was, instead of just being a standard cookie cutter dry race. So maybe, years from now I will appreciate that more. That being said, I'm looking forward to having some much more standardized racing in the GTP when the licensing comes back. But check out the next video for some more ARCA racing. See you guys next time.
Good job. Very